Hello everyone, and today we're taking a look at The Last Jedi. But before we do so, I just want to say this right now, I like this movie. I love this film a lot, and if you dislike this movie, then I'm just going to say this right now, that is perfectly okay. You are allowed to dislike this movie. I'm just here to give the reasons why I like this movie and why it's one of my favorite Star Wars movies of all time. So, with that being said, cue intro. Hello everyone, and today I'm taking a look at Star Wars The Last Jedi. Man, to think, 2 years ago on this very day, this movie came out and stirred up a lot of controversy. Either you loved it or you hate it. There was barely any middle ground with this movie. And I'm going to say it right now, folks, I love this film. Now, before we get into why I like this movie, let's talk about the plot of the movie first. First off, the plot of the film is that it takes place immediately after the events of The Force Awakens, where Rey goes to Luke to become a Jedi Knight, but during this time, the First Order strikes back against the Resistance and leaving them on a cruiser in the middle of space as they're trying to figure out what to do. As Leia is basically in a coma. Finn and Rose, a new character named Rose, along with Finn, go out to find a master codebreaker to sneak into Snoke's ship, disable this tracking beacon, and bada bing bada boom, get out of there in time so that way the Resistance can still live. And during this time, with the training between Rey and Luke, we get to see why Luke left in the first place, and we get to see how the character development between Kylo and Rey is going, and we even get character development from Luke in this film. Now, I'm not gonna lie, folks, this was my most anticipated movie of 2017. Like, I'm not even joking. Along with Spider-Man Homecoming, I was mostly excited for this film the most, because it's a Star Wars movie, I'm always excited. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I still love this movie, and before I get into my pauses with the film, I want to deliver two negatives I have with this film. First off, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I can defend Rose saving Finn, because here's the thing about that scene. During the scene, Finn is trying to sacrifice himself to blow up this mini Death Star cannon from destroying the Resistance base, and during this time, he is slowly getting in there, but his ship is breaking apart and getting destroyed slowly. And before he goes in, Rose comes in and saves the day. Now, I don't mind this really because, think about it. Because if you watch the scene, you would see that the speed that Finn is going at would not be enough in order to make a giant, damage into the cannon. So it would barely do anything. So Finn would have sacrificed himself for nothing. Finn would have died for nothing, people. And Rose saved him from pointlessly sacrificing himself. That's all fine and good, but I do have a problem with how Rose says this. It's not fighting what we hate, it's about protecting what we love. Finn was going to do that. I'm just saying, Rose. Finn was literally going to sacrifice himself to protect what he loved, even though technically speaking, it wouldn't do anything. But still. And also, that kiss between Finn and Rose, yeah, it kind of felt forced in my eyes. It just didn't really work, and I never felt like they were, going to be a thing. Though I am at the very least happy Finn's alive, since I really like Finn, and I'm excited to see him as being like one of the leaders of the new Resistance. In fact, it's kind of ironic. He went from being a stormtrooper to one of the leaders of the Resistance in Episode 9. I haven't seen Episode 9, but by the trailers, I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. And of course, Holdo. Now, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I can kind of understand Holdo. She's all like, hey, you just got demoted from Leia, and you just got a large part of our crew killed, so why should I trust you? But that's all fine and good, and seeing how Finn is literally being, aggressive during the bridge. But I think, it could have solved the problem of why Holdo didn't tell Poe anything if she just took him into a private room and said, Poe, I'm sorry, I'll tell you the plan, it's just that we don't have much time, and I'm under a lot of stress, but we still have a plan that's getting made, and yeah, everything's gonna be fine, I promise. If she just told Finn the plan, then yeah, everything would be fine. And of course, one last problem I have with this movie is that while I do like a lot of the story arcs in the movie, they kind of flip-flop every now and then, so whenever I'm really excited in one story arc, it just cuts back to another one, and yeah. Before we talk about the stuff that I love in this movie, I have to address two problems people had with it. Snoke and Phasma. I'll start off with Snoke first. And I'm going to say this right now. While yes, I did wish we got at least 2 or 3 more scenes with Snoke being in the film, I didn't mind his death scene. I'm not even joking, because here's the thing. People are all like, we didn't know anything about Palpatine in the original trilogy. We didn't know how he was this powerful, how he got control of the Empire, or how he even started the war in the first place, and we didn't even know like his name in the original trilogy. I'm not even joking. All they called him was Master and Emperor. We don't even know his actual name in Return of the Jedi or Empire. And when people are like, oh, we don't know anything about Snoke because this is so bad, you can apply that to the Emperor in the original trilogy. And also, people complain saying, if Snoke's this powerful, how is he not able to sense Kylo going to stab him in the chest? Well, my friend, by that logic, we should be complaining about how the Emperor was able to sense the hatred in Luke's heart, though he couldn't sense Vader running at him and throwing him into the reactor of the Death Star. Though I will say that scene where Snoke was force pulling Rey to the to the window, saying, "Your friends will slowly get destroyed one by one, and you will see them suffer," kind of reminded me of that scene in Return of the Jedi where Palpatine said, "Oh, the shields are quite operational, meaning your friends will be in a trap and destroyed once and for all." But yeah, there's only 3 times in the movie where I was reminded of a previous Star Wars moment. That the other 2 being Crate looking like Hoth, and the whole Rey and Luke thing kind of reminded me of the Dagobah training scene in Empire Strikes Back, but still. And also, I thought Andy Serkis was fun as Snoke. There's a lot of moments where he was like fun to watch and entertaining. And yeah, and besides, I'm more interested in Kylo being the main villain than Snoke. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Snoke's screen time, but I kind of want Kylo to be the main villain of Episode 9, and I'm hoping he is. Don't get me wrong, I love the Emperor, but I feel like this should more be about the new Emperor, that being Kylo and Rey. So, yeah. Now let's talk about Phasma. Okay, to all the people who complain about Phasma, you have to complain about Boba Fett too, because we didn't know anything about Boba Fett in the original trilogy. In fact, he only got like about 1 line of dialogue, that being the whole, "What happens if I don't get my money from Jabba the Hutt if Han's dead?" That's literally the only line he had in the original trilogy, other than his Wilhelm scream. But still, and while yes, I did wish Phasma got more screen time, she was way better than Boba Fett, because at the very least she said some lines and actually had a pretty cool action scene with Finn. Think about it, in the original trilogy, Han and Boba Fett don't have that showdown. But in this movie, Finn and Phasma do, and in the original trilogy, Boba Fett's all gets defeated like this. "Where's Boba Fett? Where's Boba Fett? Ugh. Oh, there we go, I killed Boba Fett. Day is saved." But in here, let me show you how Finn defeats Phasma.
My name is Tyrone, and I'm gonna show you what to do if you got a zombie trying to kill you. Step 1, pull out your bat. Step 2, get that home run. That's what I'm talking about.
And now we can talk about the stuff that I love in this movie. First off, the direction by Rian Johnson is stellar. The shots in this movie look absolutely fantastic, and Rian Johnson knows how to do a lot of great shots. Stuff like the Lightspeed Kamikaze, stuff like Rey practicing with the Force, and also the stuff on Crate, and even stuff like how Rey's journey into the dark cave where she's doing a whole snapping your fingers thing. And no, Peter Parker did not turn to dust because Rey snapped her fingers. I'm just letting that be known. And also, the special effects look outstanding. This is probably the best looking Star Wars film out of any of the movies. Everything looks perfect and crystal clear. And one thing I love about this movie and the reason why I was never bored in this movie was that everything was on a ticking clock. They were on a ticking clock, and if they screwed up, boom, the First Order annihilates the Resistance and everything is gone. And that's the stuff I love, when everything feels like it's on a time limit. I love those type of movies. And also, the acting is stellar all around. But I just want to give some special mentions to Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, and of course, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill gave a fantastic performance as Luke Skywalker, And yes, well, I do know that Mark did not like the direction that Ryan took Luke's character. That did not stop Mark from giving one of his best performances of his career. Seriously, I'm not even joking. This is probably my favorite performance in a 2017 movie, along with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in Logan. It is fantastic, and I think Mark Hamill should have gotten an Oscar for this performance. Oscar Isaac does a lot better in this movie since he has more time to shine as Poe, and his scenes are actually pretty interesting. And you see his journey from being all like, okay, I need to know everything. I'm like, he goes from like this cocky person who feels like, oh yeah, I blew up Starkiller Base. That means I should be like a leader. And throughout the movie, he has to learn that he has to chill out and learn to calm down. And I'm really interested to see how he'll be in The Rise of Skywalker, because in the trailers that we've been shown so far, it looks like he'll be the leader of the Resistance, which I'm pretty excited to see. And also, Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver have perfect chemistry, and there are a lot of touching scenes between them, especially during their moments when they're having those Force talks to them. It was really good. And also, the action in the film was stellar. The stuff on Crate was beautiful. In fact, stuff like Finn versus Phasma was good. It felt intense. The music was great. And I especially love that part where Finn's all like, let's go, Chrome Dome. And then he does this, batter up, and knocks Phasma out of the ballpark. But of course, there's the best fight in the movie, that being Kylo versus Luke. Now, I know people wanted to see Luke show up as a real physical being there, and trust me, I wished he was there too. But think about it. Some people are all like, Luke should have like destroyed all of the AT-AT walkers, but then he gets killed by Kylo Ren. I mean, if the guy could destroy all these AT-AT walkers, I'm pretty sure he can defeat Kylo Ren and boom, stop the First Order there. But no, in fact, I actually kind of like Luke's sacrifice in the scene, because it shows us that he's reunited with the Force, and he's giving that spark back to the Rebellion. He's basically being the new hope. He is giving hope for the Resistance and all the people in the galaxy who fear the First Order. And yeah, I really love Luke in this film. And that scene where he stares off into the Twin Suns is poetic justice. It is perfect. And it's a nice contrast between his first, from the way we were introduced to him. Because think about it, his journey started with him staring on the Twin Suns of Tatooine, and his journey ends just the same. He's staring off into the Twin Suns. And I love how in this movie, they actually address some of the points in the prequel films. How he says that because of the Jedi's arrogance, Lord Sidious rose to power and annihilated all the Jedi. That is something that I really like to see in this film, and that's something that I thought was really cool. And also, in a way, you can interpret that scene of Luke talking about how the Jedi were overconfident in their abilities, and it led to Lord Sidious rising to power, as sort of like what's happening with Luke. It's a way of saying those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And like with Luke, how he's like, because of his legendary status, he didn't become aware of Kylo until it was too late. And he even said it was a moment of weakness. And besides, Luke has gone to the dark side in the past movies, like when he was on Dagobah and when he fought Vader on the second Death Star. So, there. And I really like the part, those little details, where like how Kylo's feet interacts with the ground on Crate, while Luke doesn't at all. It's supposed to tell you that, oh, he's not really there. And also the fact that his lightsaber is the blue one, not the green one, and the fact that the blue lightsaber earlier in the movie got destroyed by Finn and by Kylo and Rey, actually. And also, I want to talk about that fight scene with the guards. I loved it. I thought it was really well done. And I especially love the part where Kylo stabs the guy in the eyeball. Seriously, we need more brutal deaths like that in Star Wars. Like, imagine if having to, like, in Episode 9, Kylo like chops off these guys' heads one by one. That'd be awesome. And also, I love how in Canto Bight we get to see more of a moral gray area in the galaxy. Like, it's not just that there are, oh, these are some people who side with the Resistance, and these are some people who side with the, Empire or the First Order. No, it's that these are people who profit from both sides of the conflict. And I love that in this movie. Overall, while some people dislike The Last Jedi, I absolutely adore this movie, and I will continue to love it. It is one of my top 5 favorite Star Wars movies of all time, and I'm giving this movie a 10 out of 10. It's not perfect, but I love it so much. I just adore it. So that being said, join me later. In 5 days from now, we will reach the end of the Skywalker saga with The Rise of Skywalker. See you all later, and bye.